Only on 7 News, an elderly woman says she was sexually assaulted at a Commerce City nursing home, but she says nurses did nothing when she reported it. Call 7 investigator John Ferrugia has been uncovering disturbing information about a nursing home where patients have suffered injuries and death, and now there are 2 more cases.
He took off all his clothes and he got into the shower with her.
Fred Villalpando is outraged that his 63-year-old sister Rose, who suffers from advanced Parkinson's disease, was ignored when she reported a sexual assault at the Woodridge Park Nursing Home in Commerce City. He says the manager of the facility, Angie Herrera, denies that one of her employees was involved. Parkinson's disease has almost robbed Rose of her ability to speak, but it's clear she knows what happened to her.
Was the person who hurt you employed by Woodridge?
Yes.
You saw him?
Yes.
And Rose says she reported it to nurses at Woodridge.
And he started to rub my breasts real hard.
He did that to you in the shower?
Yes. And he's going to touch my private parts.
He touched your private parts?
And he said what to do.
And what did you do?
I screamed for help.
You screamed for help?
Yeah.
And what happened? Did anybody help?
No.
We have obtained records showing that Commerce City police were not even notified of the April 2nd assault until 3 days later. And then Rose was never contacted nor interviewed.
The nursing home knew of this sexual assault over the weekend?
Yes.
But had not reported it until Tuesday?
That's correct.
And then once you got the information, nothing happened?
That's correct.
And the department didn't begin an investigation until we began asking questions. This week, Rose's brother brought her to the police department to be interviewed. And there's now also an internal affairs investigation underway to determine why police failed to investigate. Wanted to know if you can tell me what your policy is for reporting sex assaults at Woodridge. Woodridge Park Director Angie Herrera had no interest in answering questions. This alleged assault on Rose Elm is just one of a number of questionable injuries and deaths at the nursing home we have uncovered in the past 2 years. And now there is yet another.
She's got blood coming out of the back of her head. She's got a neck collar on, and she's on a backboard screaming.
89-year-old Barbara Kennedy had suffered serious brain injuries, including bleeding in her brain. Her daughter, Holly Beth Kulik, says the Woodridge director told her it was a transfer fall.
I don't know if they were transferring her from her bed to her wheelchair. They were not specific.
And no wonder. We obtained copies of the ambulance report that notes nothing about Barbara Kennedy falling during a transfer. 89-year-old female patient lying on linoleum floor of a residential room. Pool of blood approximately 6 inches wide radiating from mid-occipital. Staff state cleaning person witnessed fall from standing. Holly Beth Kulik had never seen the ambulance report until we showed it to her, and she was flabbergasted.
My mother couldn't stand up on her own if you wanted her to. There's no way.
By the time Barbara got to the hospital, the story had changed, noting patient had a witnessed fall while being assisted up out of bed into a chair. And Holly Beth Kulik noted something else when she saw her mother in the hospital.
She was like this, her mouth clenched and her fist up on her hand. That's defensive. That's telling me that that's not a transfer fall.
And our investigation has found officials at the nursing home had told yet a third story about Barbara Kennedy. We have obtained a state health department report where the nursing home told investigators the attending CNA requested the resident to stand next to the bed as she straightened the linen. The resident fell to the floor next to the bed. That's right, no mention of transfer and no mention of a cleaning person. And Woodridge won't give Holly Kulik the incident report on her mother.
The medical records person was never there, never there, never there, never there. They never had him up at the front for me. Nothing.
Barbara Kennedy died about a month after her head injuries. No autopsy was performed.
And the fact they won't discuss this with you, what does this tell you?
It tells me they have a lot to hide.
Now, the state health department is investigating both cases and says Woodridge managers did report the sexual assault to the department within 24 hours as required, even though they did not report it to the police.
And John, that case of Barbara Kennedy, that seems even more serious now that she's died.
Yeah, that's right. In that case, the department has already cited Woodridge for causing actual harm, and that was prior to her death. Now, her family is also filing a civil suit. Meanwhile, the Colorado Department of Regulatory Agencies is investigating whether Woodridge director Angie Herrera should retain her administrator's license. And we've now confirmed that federal investigators are also now involved in this. But the real questions for the families and the victims is, how can this nursing home continue to be licensed by the state state, and how in the world can it remain open?
I hope you come up with some more answers for us, John. We'll count on you for that. Thank you.
The state license of the woman in charge of the Woodridge nursing home has been suspended following a Call 7 investigation. Angie Herrera was the nursing home administrator at the facility, where Call 7 investigator John Ferrugia uncovered deaths, injuries, and apparent neglect.
Rose Elm is 63 years old, has Parkinson's disease, and says she was sexually assaulted at Woodridge Park Nursing Home. 89-year-old Barbara Kennedy died a month after she suffered brain injuries in a fall at the home. Woodridge Park was cited by the health department for actual harm to a patient. Angela Guerra died 2 weeks after officials at Woodridge said she ran into a wall. Her family alleges she was beaten. Woodridge Park was cited again in her injury.
Based on the sheer number of allegations we've received at this point, this is no doubt a very serious case.
Mo Miskell oversees nursing home administrators for the State Department of Regulatory Agencies. He says our investigation eventually led to the suspension of the license of Angie Herrera.
We reviewed 2 Channel 7 news stories, actually, obtained information off those 2 news stories. Based on the information that was received so far, the board felt that it required emergent action to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the citizens of Colorado.
Miskell says the suspension of Herrera's license is based on 4 specific allegations, but now there is even more concern due to our ongoing investigation.
The board has received some more information, some of it based on news stories that you guys ran again, as well as from a variety of other sources, and has initiated 8 new complaints, and those matters are being investigated currently.
Those matters, he says, directly attributed to Angie Herrera's leadership include allegations of resident neglect, lack of supervision, supply shortages, and changing medications without permission. The 4 initial cases against Herrera have now been referred to the Attorney General for review. Final disposition could take several months, but in the meantime, Angie Herrera cannot work as a nursing home administrator in the state of Colorado. I'm John Ferrugia, 7 News.
The state health department is forcing sweeping changes at a nursing home that has been the subject of a Call 7 investigation. Call 7 investigator John Ferrugia has been detailing the serious problems there. And John, the home is under new management now.
That's right. We found injuries, deaths, and even sexual assault at the Woodridge Nursing and Rehabilitation Center in Commerce City. Each time the state health department has investigated, and now officials have finally issued an ultimatum.
We realized that with their current management, they were unable to or were not adequately prepared to make the changes necessary to keep everybody safe.
So Nancy McDonald, the new director for health facilities, says the state health department told the company that owns Woodridge Park it could hire a new management company or face closure.
And they have to turn over all operations to this outside group. It's not just a little nibbling around the edges. They have to turn over everything to this outside group, and they have total control.
The nursing home owner, Texas-based Pinnacle Health Facilities, has until September 23rd to bring the home into compliance with state health and safety standards. Until that happens, the company has been fined, so far, more than $100,000.
Do you think today that patients are safe?
Yes.
In that facility today?
Yes.
Safer than they have been?
Oh, yes. In recent history? Oh, yes.
McDonald says that's because Pinion Management, based in Lakewood, is a company the department recommended for its track record of being able to bring troubled facilities like Woodridge Park up to proper standards. The Pinion contract runs until the end of 2012 in hopes of more than a short-term fix.
We wanted them to have a sustainable plan and sustainable things in place so that they could continue to be not just a facility that was doing an okay job, but a facility that really had some promise.
A Pinion official told me today she's confident the company can bring that facility into compliance on time. They have already brought in a new management team and have begun new training and regimes aimed at improving patient care. And of course, Mike, we will continue to talk to not only patients but families about it.
Seem to be very serious about it. That's good.
Yeah, it certainly is.
Arthur, thank you.